Good afternoon, or good evening, as the case may be, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with the Sports Report. Gary and I are going to do some real fancy stuff today.
Okay.
But first, the first story I have is I have got what I think is going to be some bad news for the Red Sox.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I don't like this.
Okay.
The Red Sox, in their wisdom, have allowed John Henry's wife, Linda Pizzuti, to buy into the team.
Yeah.
And now she's sitting in on the meetings.
Is she?
Yeah. And here is, and it'll be on the screen up close for you folks, but here is the happy foursome.
Really?
Walking along as though they were in their right minds. John Henry,
That's
Linda, Sam Kennedy, and Dave Dombrowski. Now, I wonder if Dombrowski is saying to himself, I better really cool it here. The big bosses are here now.
It's a political mess, I'm sure.
You know, every time in any sport where it becomes Mr. and Mrs., it doesn't seem to work.
What was her stake? Do you have any? Have you heard at all? I mean, it's 10%, 5%.
You know, it just
20%.
said she bought in, and I suspect it was a family transfer.
Yeah. So she bought in with whose money?
His.
Yeah.
Give me some money, John. Okay, here it is back again.
Yeah, I'm buying in.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And she's got involved in Liverpool also.
Oh, okay. That would be good. She could go over to Liverpool.
She goes over there all the time.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, and actually Liverpool has had a better year this year than they had last.
Yeah.
But anyway.
They take it seriously over there.
They do indeed.
Yes, they do.
And, you know, Sam Kennedy has come from no place.
Yeah, right.
To be president.
Yeah, I know.
Now, let's think, if we can, enlist all his qualifications to be president of the Red Sox.
Yes.
I think it begins and ends with John Henry and Linda like him.
Yeah, they do. And he's a business guy, right? He's no baseball background.
No baseball at all.
Right, but a business.
Yeah, but
he runs the business.
Yeah,
I mean, the theory is he runs the business, Dombrowski runs the baseball ops.
Yeah, but he sits in on the baseball ops meetings too.
Well, he's watching the numbers.
I wish I thought that's all it was. But anywho, so I see dark clouds on the horizon for that.
Yeah. How about for the team this year?
Well, now, sir, I went on Bovada today.
Oh, you got somewhere? Oh, okay.
Actually, it was very disappointing. They had the same odds boards up from November.
They haven't updated?
They haven't updated them. So you can still buy in on these prices.
Okay.
The 2018 World Series winner, Houston, plus 500.
Okay.
So you bet 100 to win 500.
On Houston?
On Houston.
Wow.
Second place.
That's not a bad bet.
The LA Dodgers, 550. And third place, the New York Yankees, 550.
Yankees are third?
Yep.
Ahead of the Cubs. Huh?
Well, actually, they're tied with the Dodgers, 550 each. The Cubs are next at 750. Then Cleveland at 800, Washington at 900, and the Red Sox at 1,000.
1,000, 10
Yeah.
to 1.
And then it goes south. The Cardinals come in at 2,000, San Francisco 2,200, LA Angels 2,500,
Yeah.
Arizona 2,500, and then the Mets, the Brewers, and the Twins at 3,000 each.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't mind having a 30 to 1 shot for fun. Not one of those three teams. though.
Yeah. If you had to take one of those, what would you take?
Milwaukee.
That's who
Yeah.
I'd take too.
Yeah.
I would take Milwaukee.
And the Twins are getting their ship straightened out.
Yeah, they've signed a
little
couple
bit.
people
Yeah,
recently.
they actually
fill
spent
in.
some money. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now, American League champs,
Yeah.
Houston, $275. The Yankees, $275. Cleveland, $375. The Red Sox, $500.
Huh.
So, 5 to 1, Red Sox. In the National League, the Dodgers, $270. Washington, $375, and the Cubs, $375. I think if any free agents do sign, I think a couple of shoes may drop. And this is all going to change.
Yeah.
But I think it's not going to change a lot because nothing dramatic has really
happened.
and truly happened,
Yeah.
except for Miami trading
Right. Stanton. Yeah,
Stanton
that was a biggie.
up to the Yankees. That was a biggie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
They
face it.
dismantled the whole team. They traded their other good players. They traded everybody.
They did. They did.
Yeah.
I mean, they could go unwon rather than undefeated this year. So, and I get the Red Sox salaries.
Oh, that should be interesting.
Yeah, top paid, of course, is David Price at 31.
Yeah.
But they actually, what they do is it's the total value of the contract at 217.
Yeah. Average annual value, right?
Yeah. Dustin Pedroia is second, 110,000, and so is J.D. Martinez. But Dustin's getting 13.7 million a year, and of course Martinez is getting 22 average.
Yeah.
Hanley is there at 22.
22.
Wow. Porcello, 20.6. And then we take a drop down to Kimbrel at 10.5.
This is his last year of his contract, too.
Could be the last year we see him here,
Yeah.
too. Chris Sale at 6.5. Mitch Moreland at 6.5. Then, Mookie Betts at 10.5.
Yeah.
Then you got Pomeranz, Xander Bogaerts at 7 mil, Jackie Bradley at 6.1. Then you take a big drop. Kelly, 3.8. Eddie Rodriguez, 2.3. Tyler Thornburg, 2.2. Sandy Leone, 2 million flat.
Huh.
And then it's all cats and dogs
Yeah.
as you go down. Lots of them at 535.
Yeah, the young guys. Yep.
So I don't know what to make of that. Not much, to
No.
tell you the truth. But, you know, they've got Dustin Pedroia on the books till 2022.
Yeah, why
Now,
they extended him made no sense at the time, and
Nope.
it still doesn't.
doesn't. He didn't
Made
have
no
to
sense at
do
the
that.
time.
God, it wasn't as though he was yelling to jump. Who knows? Maybe behind locked doors he was saying something.
You take Pedroia and Hanley off next year.
Yeah.
You've got $35 million
That's
to sign
exactly
Manny
right.
Machado right there.
That's right. Yeah. Or let's see. You got Machado.
Harper.
Yeah, Harper.
Yeah. Next year there's a bunch of guys. In fact, they're nervous because the free agent market has been so blah
And then
this year.
afterwards, Trout the year after that.
I think Trout's next year too.
Oh, is he next year?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I tell you, from this batch, I think they're going to lose Kimbrel. That would be the one that I think stands
maybe.
out. Pomeranz can walk. Joe Kelly can walk. Those are the three that can walk.
Yeah.
I mean,
Next year.
worth talking about.
Right.
Well, actually,
and Hanley, you gotta make
worth
sure-
talking about or not worth talking about. They're the only three that can walk.
Yeah. So, with Hanley rolling off, I don't know what you do about Pedroia. You're stuck with him, so I guess.
Do you know what? You get the rosary beads out, and you hope like heck his knee
Yeah.
comes back, and he calms down and is willing to play 120 games a year in the field.
Yeah.
And
sure he'd love
he
to.
stays in one piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
Would
committed through 20. You got 4 more years with the guy.
Okay. So now, here we are in late July.
Yeah.
Countdown to the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Now, Pedroia is healthy.
Yeah.
Batting .311. He's got 10 home runs, and he is back to, I don't know about Gold Glove, but he's back to being a damn good second baseman.
Yeah.
Somebody comes knocking. Would you trade him?
Yes.
You would.
Yeah.
I would too.
Absolutely.
I would too. But
He's probably a 10-5er though, right?
yeah, he would be. Yeah,
So that's the problem.
Yeah, that may be the
Plus,
end of that story.
plus, I don't know. Even if he's having a good year, people are going to be scared by that contract.
Yeah,
His injury
yeah,
history.
yeah, but
You got the guy for what? 4 more years
but-
after this?
Whether it's the Cubs though, or
I think it's a limited market. I really
Washington,
do.
somebody that is maybe 2 games out of first place,
Yeah.
and their second baseman goes down.
Right. I'd move him in a minute because for just what I said before,
Yep.
now you take his salary and you have Hanley roll off next year, and there's $35 million to go get. How'd you like to the year after next have Machado and the guy they just signed,
JD.
JD,
Yeah.
back to back, right?
I'll tell you, boy, that would certainly sound good to me.
So I would move him. I just can't believe
Anybody would give
anybody's
us
going to be knocking
value.
down the door. Now,
All
if he
right.
can come back healthy by May 1st and play, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe.
All right.
I get surprised all the time with deals that get moved.
Then let me pose it differently to you then. Supposing he was that guy I described, and somebody came to us and offered us 2 cases of cream and mushroom soup.
I'd move him.
I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point. That I love him,
Right.
but hell, I loved my 72 Pontiac too until it finally fell apart.
They have to take a Belichickian approach.
Well, that's right.
They
And
really do. It's been great, but
is there a Belichick among them there? I don't think so.
right.
Well, anyway.
And you got to let Hanley go. You cannot let him, even if because I think Hanley's going to have a good year. It's a contract year. He's now TB12. He wants to play 10 more years, and you can't let
We
that.
don't want him
22
10 more
kick in.
minutes.
Can't for next year. So it's 400 and something, 470 plate
Yeah,
appearances or
something like that. Yeah.
You cannot let him get that.
No, but how about
But what
this?
if he's hitting?
That's what I was just going to say. What if it's July
Yeah,
and he's got
and he's
18 home runs,
right.
59 RBIs,
Right.
and he's managed to stay in one piece.
Right.
And the Red Sox are in first place by a game.
Yeah,
Do you sit him?
yeah.
Ah.
That's why it's nice to have some depth on the team that you actually do sit him.
Yeah, yeah. And Sam Travis is hitting in spring training.
Is he?
They changed his stroke a little bit, and they also changed his footwork. He doesn't have the big jump there, but and he's banging the ball around, and so you got a little bit more depth there too.
Right. So he plays first, right? Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, he gets out there and messes around at first.
And I think it looks like Blake Swihart's going to be on the team.
Yeah, no,
So
wouldn't that be great?
he's out of options. So looks like he's going to be on the team, and
Well, I think Holt is gone.
yeah,
Brock
I
Holt.
think, yeah, he still has an option, so they can actually send him down.
Yeah, but I don't think they sent his salary down.
Well, they might because
2.25. I mean, it's not a fortune. But
if Nunez happens to get hurt before Pedroia is ready, then he's going to have to come
By
up.
the way, Nunez is still not competitively running yet and making the cuts and all that the baseball players have to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I think he's supposed to be a starting second baseman.
That's right. Yeah, well, he was so bestowed yesterday. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Okay, now, we will revisit this when Bovada updates the individual numbers too. I mean, they got to look at spring training and they got to look at guys. I mean, what if a guy goes out with a knee injury or something like that? I mean, they want to make sure they get their numbers right. But we'll do that when we get there.
I think the Sox need to pick up another pitcher, starting pitcher. I mean,
well, Brother Pomerantz sort of put the spotlight on that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, this hurts.
But whether it's now or whether it's later, I don't believe Pomerantz is going to give you 32 starts. He's going to give you 26 or 27.
Maybe he's a long relief pitcher. Who knows?
Maybe. Since you didn't do anything to bolster your left-handed relief.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. And by the way, I don't think Rodriguez is going to give you anything either.
Yeah, he's very questionable. He's, again, he's another. You're not going to get 32 starts out of him. Yeah, if you get 25, you're going to consider yourself lucky.
Yeah,
so you need starter number 6 and 7.
Oh, no question. Yeah.
And I don't think it's Brian Johnson. They're talking about Brian Johnson.
Or the guy from the Mexican League either.
Yeah.
I mean, he can pitch, but 89 miles an hour.
I don't know about the knuckleballer.
He's
coming slow.
He's coming slow. That's right.
Yeah.
He's not going to be ready probably till the 1st of May. So, he's not coming north with the team. So you're right.
So after the top 3, what have you really got?
Yeah.
In the 4 and 5 holes.
Worries.
And there's some of those guys out there. The other guy's still out there. He's probably going to be too expensive for what I'm talking about, but is Alex Cobb. He hasn't signed with anybody yet.
He's
not a bet for a 4th or 5th starter.
Well, Alex Cobb would fit in nicely on this team. I like Alex Cobb.
Yeah, especially as a 4th or 5th starter.
Yeah, I mean, he had some time out there with that operation.
I don't like him as a number 2, but I like him as a 4 or 5.
Yeah, better than Eddie Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like Eddie Rodriguez, but you just know you're not going to get a full season out of
He's got a great arm.
Yeah.
Okay? But he doesn't take care of his body. I bet you his rehabbing, I can imagine what his rehabbing was all winter long.
Yeah.
Oh, senorita, 2 more cold ones here. Come sit on my lap and tell me about stealing bases. Well. All right, Gary, I have a question for you. Interesting story on the news today.
Is that right?
Yep. Best Buy came out with this story. Our Geek Squad repairs computers. One of our guys on the Geek Squad sold information off of one of the computers to the FBI for $500.
Is that right?
And they arrested this guy for kiddie porn.
Wow.
This constitutes a warrantless search.
It would sound like it, yes.
Yeah. You wonder if this is a one-time deal or whether this has happened many times before.
Oh, I think it's happening on a daily basis.
Yeah. Who would have any faith in Best Buy now?
Right.
And the Geek Squad. And I'm not talking about porn or anything like that on your computer. What I'm talking about is your financial information.
Right.
And your numbers, your social security number, your account numbers, your investments.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust the bastards.
Yeah.
Oops, I can't say that.
It's a big issue.
It is. And hey, hooray for them breaking the story.
Yeah.
We need to talk about this kind of stuff. Roger Bannister, at the age of 88, passed away. First guy to run a 4-minute mile.
Yeah.
I remember it well.
Do you?
Yeah, 1954. And it was one of the first times they actually showed something like that on TV. They didn't show it live, but they showed
in
it filmed.
Israel,
Yeah. And 359.4.
Wow.
And he did what everybody said was an
Couldn't be done.
impossibility.
Yeah. Break the 4-minute run.
Sammy Stewart passed away.
I saw that. Sammy lived hard.
After a lifetime of crack cocaine addiction.
Yeah,
They knew that when he was with the Red Sox, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm sure-
that was
yeah, I'm sure they
a
did.
well-known
Yeah.
secret in Boston.
He was a hard liver.
He was, and his last years were not good.
No. It seldom ends well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was a versatile starter, too, or reliever.
Yeah.
And he could
some
spot
good years
start, long
for the
man.
Orioles, right? Isn't he?
Orioles.
Came up through the
then,
Orioles
Then the
system?
Red Sox.
Then the Red Sox.
The Orioles World Series team, and then the Red Sox American League champs.
Yeah.
You know, he was a good pitcher.
Yeah, he was decent. Yeah, solid.
And then Kabongo,
Yeah.
that stuff. 64,000 people OD'd on drugs last year. Narcan saves the life of many. But many folks continue ODing with the belief that they will always be saved.
Yeah.
One guy in Philadelphia, I think it was, OD'd 16 times.
Yeah.
They brought him back 16 times. Number 17 was not his lucky number.
Yeah.
And they had one on the Cops show, the live Cops show on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting cut because that stuff is quasi-live. I mean, there may be a minute that they're taping it and they replay it and say it's live. But for all intents and purposes, it's live. Cop was driving down the street, I think it was in Louisville, and somebody yelled, "Hey, down there, look at the guy just crashed." And a video camera on the street had picked him up. He went straight into a light stanchion.
Ooh.
And
I take it the light
he
station won.
He had OD'd. And they got the ambulance there and took him to the hospital, Narcaned him and all that, brought him back. The following night, did it again and died.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people got it bad.
Yeah. I said the following night. It was before the next show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reggie Theus passed away.
I hadn't heard that.
Yep. He was the head coach at Cal State Northridge.
Yeah. I remember when he played.
No, I'm sorry. Reggie Theus was fired as the head coach.
Oh, okay.
This good
I
comes
was gonna
good news
say.
to Mrs. Theus
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and Reggie.
and Reggie. I do apologize to that, folks.
Yeah.
Reggie, if you're watching, good
well-
health, baby.
Yeah, good health. Yeah.
He was one of my favorite basketball players.
Yeah, I liked him.
I thought he had just absolutely
good game.
classic moves.
Yeah.
But anyway, my brother hated him, but I forget why. David Ogden Stiers passed away. Major Charles Winchester on MASH.
On MASH, yeah.
75 years old at home in Newport, Oregon.
Wow.
I can honestly say I liked MASH, the original MASH.
Yeah.
With Trapper and Henry, the Colonel. I did not like this guy's character at all.
Yeah,
Winchester.
once they made the changes,
God.
yeah.
And they had a guest on Fox Financial a couple of days ago, Pam Bondi, 52 years old, the Attorney General for the state of Florida.
Oh, yes, I've seen her.
She's beautiful.
Yes.
She appears to be about 30.
Yeah.
Well, so I said to myself, I'll go on the internet, I'll get a picture of her, I'll download it, and she'll be our next guest. Well, guess what? All the pictures are copyrighted. You can't maybe, I guess a geek knows how to
Yeah.
do that. I don't.
Huh.
But anyway, I can understand why. Because it wasn't too many years ago, and she was a horror show. She has kept the plastic surgeons busy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's some major work done?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Every place from stem to stern.
Wow, the big dig. Huh?
Yeah.
The big dig of plastic surgery?
Boy, oh boy. But think about this. Could the saggy frump Pam Bondi have been elected?
Yeah, perhaps not.
What does this say about the shallowness of the electorate in Philadelphia, in Florida,
It's Florida.
and every place else?
It's Florida.
But a beautiful woman or a handsome man,
Stands a much better chance.
Is it 10 points better? Or
Oh, I would think so. And assuming they can talk.
and
They're
walk
smooth.
a reasonable
They're
straight
articulate.
line, yeah.
And they can,
Yeah.
sell themselves.
Yeah. And go to
Absolutely.
perhaps a dinner or something without having to be fed. But it really does.
So you're suggesting that Elizabeth Warren starts with a 10-point gap?
Well, let's hope so. The New Hampshire legislature,
Yeah.
bless their hearts, are working on a bill as we speak
Okay.
to adjust the age of marriage in the Granite State.
Okay. What is it?
How old do you think a boy has to be to get married?
In the Granite State
Yeah.
currently?
Yeah.
I would say 16,
And the girl?
15.
14 and 13
Oh, that's
are
off.
the numbers.
Off by one, yeah.
Now, this goes way back to
Sure.
1770 when we were an agrarian society, and the kids, she went to his family.
got married
and-
off.
Yeah. But they're upping it. Guess what? They've gone the other way. Guess what the age is going to have to be? I'm pulling your leg.
18,
16.
16. I was going to say,
Hardly seems high enough.
yeah.
I mean,
I was
at
going to say, what's their
16
age of consent, right?
Listen, at 16 in Massachusetts, 16 is the age of consent. I know I went through that with one of my children.
Yeah.
But at 16, I was collecting baseball cards.
Yeah.
And a big deal for me was during trapping season to catch 2 muskrats in one morning.
There you go.
Getting married?
Yeah, people do it, I mean, what can we say?
I don't know. Well, I am mad at McDonald's.
At McDonald's?
Yep. They offended me this week. I went to 2 McDonald's to make sure this was right. I went in and they had a big sign up. 2 fish sandwiches. It was last Wednesday.
Yeah.
2 fish sandwiches for the price of 1. I said, now, by gosh, I was hungry. That's why I went in. I said, cup of coffee and 2 fish sandwiches, please. And she said, that'll be, $7 or what. I said, no, 2 for 1. Oh. She said, no, you can't do that.
Really?
I said, I beg your pardon. She said, no, read the fine print. Well, you'd have to have binoculars to read them, okay?
Yeah.
But it said, must be ordered on a smartphone with a McDonald's app.
Really?
Yeah. So I said, let me wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Time out. You're telling me you're going to subsidize some kid whose family has given him an $1,100 smartphone and has got a McDonald's app. So you're going to subsidize him, and a 77-year-old World War II veteran, not World War II, Army veteran, U.S. Army veteran, comes in on a fixed income, and you're going to say, oh no, full price for you, buddy.
It's in the fine print.
Yeah. And she said, I don't make the rules. I said, fine. I said, is the manager here? No, she's gone on an errand. They weren't going to let me have the manager in front of a room full of people. So I
Isn't
stopped.
that something?
I stopped at another McDonald's. Walked in, fat, dumb, and happy, and said the same thing, and I got the same answer.
Is that right?
Yeah. I've been trying to find the McDonald's regional headquarters here in New England.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Patrick on that detail tomorrow morning.
That's something.
And, yeah.
Huh.
I said, that's discrimination. You're discriminating against me.
Yeah.
When you discriminate in favor of one class, you are discriminating against other members.
Yeah. It's part of their strategy. They want people ordering on apps so they can reduce the number of people they need to
Yep.
employ in the stores.
Let's get the guns off the streets, comes the cry. But let's never forget the Boston judge who never convicted a single lad of carrying a concealed weapon and gave him a year in jail under the Bartley-Fox law, which calls for a mandatory 1-year sentence.
Yes.
And then he went on talk radio to brag about it, that I couldn't put a young lad with his whole life ahead of him in jail for a year. It would ruin him. Well, how about if that young man pulled out the unregistered gun and blew a hole in some store owner's chest and killed him?
Right.
That would ruin him, too.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, Mayor Walsh and Governor Wishy-Washy keep on saying, we gotta get the guns off the street. And then there was this article, expert, city homicides show need for stricter firearm control. Listen, you know what this needs? And the Supreme Court has ruled it legal. It's called stop and frisk.
Yeah.
Get these kids that are packing and take the guns away from them. I'm not saying a year in jail, but boy, I'll tell you what, 90 days in the Norfolk County House of Correction for a little, see what it's like, young man?
Yeah.
Next year, it's going to be a year.
Right.
I mean,
So you want more gun laws, but you're not even enforcing the ones you have.
that's exactly right. And the judges are flaunting them.
Yeah.
Now, I talked to a couple of judges, and one judge said to me, Bill, he said, I can honestly tell you that when this situation came to me, it was a year in jail.
Yeah, I would imagine usually it comes with other charges attached too, right? I mean,
And he's the lad probably. Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's, I get another article, but there's about 6 charges.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one place, one story, the gun had a defaced serial number, so you know it was stolen.
Yeah.
And totally illegal.
right,
But that's the guns you've got to get off the street.
right. Yeah, it's not the one in your gun cabinet. Right.
Yeah. I get another one here that outraged me. The next Netflix board. Now, Netflix is doing well. Mm-hmm. Guess what? This has caused a big concern. The news. The Netflix board is all white.
Okay.
Well, there's all kinds of demonstrations about this now.
Is that right?
And people are threatening to boycott. And this was on the news the other day. So these guys try to build a company. It starts in somebody's garage or in somebody's 3-room apartment or whatever. They have their friends. Their friends are sharp. So do you say, well, wait a minute, we're trying to put an idea across. We're going to have to work hard, think smart. I trust you guys, but I can only hire 2/3 of you. The other 1/3, I got to go find some minorities so nobody gets mad at me.
That's the state we're evolving to, yeah.
Yeah, and what happens there is the guys can't pull their weight. They're not as sharp as these other guys. They don't trust them because they don't know them. But we got to hire some minorities. It's like sports too. I mean, you got to watch what you say, watch what you do. Make sure you get enough of these guys, enough of those guys, enough left-handed people.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Nobody's discriminating against anybody here in this Netflix thing.
I mean, who knows what the board composition is?
Yeah.
And I guarantee you they're not the only company in the country that this
Yeah.
is the case.
I know. Yeah. Absolutely. Now they're dictating, well, you're going to have X amount of minorities, and you're also going to have X amount of women.
Right.
So it's no longer the most qualified person.
No.
It's no longer the one that contribute the most success
the
to
quota.
your organization.
It's the quota.
It's
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah.
Well, Joy Behar
Yeah.
managed to put an awkward statement out
Yeah.
talking about Vice President Pence. That's one thing to talk about Jesus. It's another thing when Jesus talks to you. That's called mental illness, if I'm not correct. Hearing voices.
Oh boy.
That is such an ignorant statement.
It is. Yeah, I've never been a fan of hers.
No. And you know what's even more crazy is that is not an opinion show on ABC. It's under the news bunch,
Yeah.
the news division.
It is?
Yeah. Now, it is pure, absolutely pure opinion
Yeah.
and character assassination
Right.
that goes along with it, I mean, it belongs on at night with Crossfire or
Jimmy
what?
Kimmel.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel, right, yeah. But it just insults everybody that is a faith-believing person. I mean, listen, Jesus, I pray to Jesus. I pray to God.
Yeah.
I've never had them physically speak to me.
No, it's called faith.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yet, I've just asked for help, for strength, for wisdom. A week later, a month later, it happens. And I can see God's hand in this. It's happened numerous times in my life.
Yeah,
That's the same as him talking to me.
Right. You're fortunate.
I am. Gary, I'm the luckiest man in the world. I really and truly am.
Good for you.
I've been healthy my entire life.
Yeah.
I got a wonderful wife. My 3 boys have turned out well. I live in a very safe town.
Yeah. One of the safest.
I've had good jobs. And here I am, 77, and I'm still
Going
up
strong.
up and about and
Yeah.
taking nourishment.
Good for you,
So I
yeah.
consider myself the luckiest guy in the world. I really
Yeah.
do.
Good for you.
I'm not going to complain. Kennesaw, Georgia. An interesting spot. 33,000 people live there.
Huh.
And it is a town law that in every residence, the head of the family will have and maintain a firearm. Now, interesting that Kennesaw has had only 1 murder in 6 years, and the violent crime is below 2%. However, CNN reporting this story, they were totally objective, of course.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah. But it's unclear, they write, whether this has anything to do with the gun law.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
It really is. And they're a news outlet.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. Oh, man alive. Oh, I'm very sorry to see in the report that the Humane Society of the U.S. President Wayne Pacelle has resigned among multiple allegations of sexual harassment.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Sportsmen, hunters, fishermen, trappers, know Wayne Pacelle because he hates all forms of any of the blood sports. So he's been public enemy number one to hunters and trappers and fishermen. So I'm sure that the outdoor sporting community is celebrating tonight with maybe a couple of cans of Budweiser.
Yeah.
President Obama did not attend Billy Graham's funeral.
Yeah, that's disgraceful.
Is that about as low class as it gets?
Yeah. He should have been there.
He should have been there, is right. There was an editorial in the, oh, by the way, he was out in Chicago reviewing plans for his library.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't find the time.
And from the pictures I've seen of the library, I mean, it's going to be larger than the entire campus of UCLA. That's going to really be something, I'll tell you. All right. Well, here's something that's going to make you feel mighty comfortable, Mr. Frequent Flyer.
Okay.
Now hiring transportation security officers at Logan Airport. No experience required. Full and part-time pay rates starting at $18.13. Ongoing training. Paid ongoing training. Offers an attractive benefits package including health, dental, vision, life, and long-term care insurance, retirement plan, thrift savings plan similar to a 401k, flexible spending account, employee assistance program, whatever the hell that is, personal leave days, and paid federal holidays. How desperate are they to find warm bodies?
They're very desperate, actually.
And you know what the story is here? So many of these kids have got arrested, pot, juvenile delinquency. Now they're 18 or 20 years old, and they're just flopping around. Here's a job like this, and I know, because my son's in the business, that he gets no resumes right now from management, and he's understaffed by I think 4 or 5 bodies. So he got 2, and the guys came in, and Paul hired them, and they were sent for their drug tests, and they both failed.
Both failed.
So he got two more resumes. The HR guy said, I'm sending you 2 good guys, Paul. Talked to them already. You're going to love them. Paul said, okay, well, tomorrow? Yep, tomorrow, 10 o'clock. I'll have them there. Neither one of them showed up.
Neither one of them showed up, really?
Yeah. This is really something.
Yeah.
This is what is going to be handling security in Logan Airport.
I know it.
You know,
It's a little frightening.
I was down to my Tampa, I think, either Tampa or Orlando, I forget which, and every person on security, I'm going way back now, before 9/11, every person on security, you could hear them talking. Come on, girl, time for our break.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's nobody here to fill in for us. Well, that's boss's problem. Come on. And
Pre 9/11, it was a lot different.
It was indeed. I'll tell you, it was scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
I recall when there was no security, right? Much like Amtrak now, right? It was just you just used to show up at Logan and get on.
I remember going down to Green. Remember in the old days down to Green?
Yeah.
Where there was no gates? You went outside, up the ramps? There was no security.
No.
Somebody stood and said, may I see your ticket? And then you went out the door. That was security.
I remember my younger days, I used to take the shuttle all the time back and forth to Washington. You just showed up and got on.
Yeah.
right? You had a ticket. It didn't even matter if that was the flight. If you had an 8 o'clock and the 7 o'clock was sitting there, you could just get on.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when it was full, they shut the doors.
They shut the door and you had to
Yep.
wait for the next one.
And that's right. And so then don't worry because we'll roll another one up.
Yeah.
When that,
But there was literally zero security. Of course, I recall as a child all the time going, and you'd go and wait for people at their gate.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? You can't do that anymore.
Nope.
You've got to wait down beyond security.
Mucho far away.
Yeah.
Well, Gary, what do we make of this? A couple of days before, we had this Trump hints at willingness for talks with North Korea.
Yeah.
And now we have it.
Yeah.
What do you think of this?
Well, I think it's a good thing. I don't know that anything's going to come of it. I think Donald will take a tough position going in. But I think ultimately the real issue here is that North Korea is broke. I don't think they have the capital to continue the
To
program.
feed their people.
Right. They
Yeah.
can't feed their people.
No.
Their people are starving. But, it takes a lot of money to have a nuclear weapons program.
Oh,
To develop
Well,
an ICBM.
the latest round of sanctions.
Right.
I mean,
It's really hurting them.
It's really hurting them.
Right.
That's what brought Iran to their knees.
Right.
Was sanctions.
Right.
Kept on ramping them up and ramping them up. Well, I'll tell you, something has happened. Now, have the Chinese said to North Korea, we're not going to protect you anymore, okay? And the President Trump, is making bad words that
Yeah.
he's not going to put up with your behavior much longer, and you're on your own.
Yeah, I think it's the position Trump has taken. And I'm constantly reminded of Reagan, right? And I remember seeing Andrei Gromyko, who was the equivalent of their Secretary of State at the time, talking about Reagan and how they didn't know what to make of the guy because he was unpredictable. They were concerned that he would they didn't want to provoke him because they thought he would actually attack them. And I see parallels here to that whole situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think they're broke.
When all is said and done, and the book is written on Trump,
Yeah.
one of the things that's going to come out is this guy knows how to interface with people.
Right.
He knows who to stroke. He knows who to kick in the butt.
Right.
And he knows when he looks you in the eye and gives you the evil eye that he's getting very serious.
Yeah. I think he got his attention, obviously.
I think so too. Now, I wonder, who knows? This entire regime in North Korea, it just simply doesn't make sense. But
Right.
was it the sister that went to the Olympics and
I think it was all part of the process, yeah.
and came back and said,
all
you
part
know
of the
what, big
process."
brother? What they say about South Korea is true.
Yeah.
These people in North Korea are just about totally isolated from
Yeah.
the world. It's about
It's
as
terrible.
isolated as it
They haven't
gets.
developed at all.
No. Now, there's a few geeks that risk their life getting information from China on the internet and all of that.
Yeah.
But they're limited to what they can say. And not only that, but like Nazi Germany. And I talked to so many of the Germans over there, and they said, we could not express ourselves.
Right.
We didn't know whether our brother was Gestapo or not, and
Right.
would turn us in.
Yeah.
And they're like that there.
They are.
I mean, for a pound of rice, they'd turn their mother in.
Right. So, I think his biggest issue is that he wants to stay in power. Right? His ultimate dream, I think, is to reunite the Korean Peninsula. It ain't going to happen.
No.
Right? And I think he's broke. I think He's starved his country to put it into his weapons programs. He's now got these sanctions that are real.
Yep.
I think Trump has handled China well, because China's a big part of this equation.
Of course.
Yeah. So, I think we need to be careful about getting our hopes up.
Yeah.
Because I think this guy might be doing exactly what he intended to do all along. Get a capability, be able to trade the capability for staying in power.
This is not unlike West Germany and East Germany.
Yeah.
Here you had the East Germans living in poverty, no health care, no jobs, no nothing. The Russians had the hammer on them.
Right.
And here was the West Germans, and eventually West Germany said, okay, come on, we'll take East Germany along with the mess that you've created there and everything. And the Russians, as their empire crumbled, was happy to walk away from it.
Right.
Well, I wonder if Kim is saying, okay, now here's the deal. You promise you're not going to prosecute me for any of these alleged crimes of mine, that I can stay in power, and we'll swing over and come up with a working agreement with the South, where the South will come up and put factories and give us jobs and get us on our feet.
Right.
And we can all be one big happy family again. And I'm simplifying it tremendously, but I've got to believe that is where the situation he finds himself in.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs capital. He needs money.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are starving. So, I mean, the whole thing, I think, has been a big bargaining chip.
Yeah.
I mean, even if he had nuclear capability, I mean, he knows I've never thought the guy's a raving lunatic, right? So you get some missiles. So what? The minute you launch one of those, you're going to be vaporized. Literally vaporized.
You're not going to live.
And your country will be uninhabitable for the next 10,000 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's all over. The instant you do something.
Right.
And with the grace of God and our equipment, we'll knock the missiles down. So what will you have achieved?
Right.
Nothing. Just 10 minutes of look at me, what I did, and then I'm dead
Let's see how
forever.
it plays out. I think I'm glad they're doing it. I'm glad Trump's willing to do it.
Do you know, if this had been done by Obama,
Oh my gosh.
I would not trust Obama. He'd give the store away over there. He'd arrive on bended knee, and this lunatic would he'd make the agreement.
He'd fleece him.
And Obama would say, where do I sign?
Yeah.
This is one place where Trump is going to negotiate.
Yeah, and I think he's got a good team with Tillerson and Mattis to do that with. Yeah.
I think that this could be a great. And you know what? Do you know who will poo-poo this and just absolutely just say, oh, a cosmic accident? The entire Democratic Party.
Right.
This guy could save humanity. He could find a cure for cancer over the weekend by an experiment that he did. And they would say, oh, that was just a stage show.
Yeah, stunt.
Yeah. Oh. Trump plays the blame game with shootings. He's blaming it on the violence of some of these games that the kids play.
Yeah, it's a factor, I think.
It sure is.
Yeah.
The Entertainment Software Association released a statement saying studies have found no connection between games and real-life violence, and noting that games are played in other countries that don't have the same level of gun violence. They expressed hope that the meeting will provide the opportunity to have a fact-based based conversation about video game ratings and the tools we need to make informed entertainment choices. Do you know, I heard that and read that many, many years ago. The same exact story written by the tobacco industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
The lawyers for the tobacco industry must have written that.
Yeah.
Well, no,
all
tobacco's
lawyers speak.
good for you.
Right. But you know, it's I'm not sure it's government's job necessarily to fix it. You know, it's part of a much bigger problem that we have, which is parenting in this country. Parenting, the family being torn apart.
Yeah.
And, you know, to say to a 10-year-old, well, you're not allowed to use this game because it's rated R.
Oh, my friends do it, Dad.
Well, his big brother's got it.
Yeah.
So, you know, to me, it starts in the home.
You know, I get
It's tough to regulate that kind of stuff out here.
Well, it is. And you need churches.
Right.
You need educators. You need
Parents.
counselors. But first of all, you need parents.
Right.
And you need parents that say, I made these monsters, I'm going to raise them.
Right.
And I'm sticking with them. It's my job.
Right.
Yeah. And they don't. They walk
They don't.
away from it.
Yeah. That's I think the core of a lot of our problems.
Well, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It really and truly is. And we better stop it there because the next step is going to be.
Yeah.
I'm really going to put my foot in my mouth after that. But I got one thing I want to end up with. Unsecured classrooms
Yeah.
in Boston, in the Boston school system. Teachers that have reported they can't lock their doors. And 6 months they have waited. Well, this woman said 2 years.
Yeah.
And now all
Very
of a sudden,
fixable.
the superintendent of schools is saying, we're going to get this fixed. And Mayor Marty Walsh says, this is getting my total attention. Just like the murders in the street, the homeless, the educational system, everything else, Marty always says, I'm going to take care of this.
The overdoses.
And nothing gets taken care
Yeah.
of. But can you imagine this?
Yeah.
And they needed a school, a consultant.
Yeah.
Howard Levinson of
Consultant.
Norton-based Expert Security Consulting said unlocked classroom doors are a critical problem, particularly if a shooter is familiar with the building. They need a consultant
for that,
to
yeah.
tell them that? Mamma mia. Wrap it up. We've got to wrap it up.
We got to wrap it up.
Folks, you didn't get a full helping of sports this time
No,
around.
hardly. Yes. That's okay.
And I get a few other minor ones, but not minor. They're actually really important. But we got most of them in.
Yeah. We'll
We'll catch up with them next time. And we'll also have to have our Red Sox preview program.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to go and make our super duper predictions.
Yeah.
And we better start to pay attention to the Bruins.
Oh man, yeah. I hope you are paying attention to the Bruins. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's a fun.
That's
been a fun ride.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on that note, and by the way, the Celtics are so fun sometimes too.
Oh, yeah. It's Boston.
Yep.
It's a good
right.
place to be if you
Yep.
like sports.
All right. Well, listen, folks. Have a great night. Enjoy the snow, and maybe some more coming over the weekend.
We'll see.
And I will catch you next time. Good night. Or good afternoon.